Today we are going to analyze 3 topics of philosophy and 3 ethical theories in the series The Good Place. Also, we have special guests on our show, so stay with us. Before we move to an interesting moment, let's talk a little about the series itself. The Good Place is an American fantasy comedy television series created by Michael Shore. This series is centered around an afterlife in which humans are sent to the good place or the bad place. Although the plot evolves significantly over the course in the series, the initial premise follows Eleanor Shellstrop, a woman welcomed after her death to the good place, a highly selective heaven-like utopia. However, she realizes that she was sent there by mistake and must hide her morally imperfect past behavior while becoming a better and more ethical person. So story begins here. Okay, I think I've been talking too much about the series, so let's invite our guests. First is the follower of Kant's deontology, Elmira. Second is the representative of utilitarianism, Aidar. Third is the follower of Aristotle's virtue theory, Aurelio. Thank you for coming, but before we start, to understand each guest's ethical theories better, let's listen to our special member, Coco Fixik.
Hi guys, welcome to the rubric with Coco Fixik. So let's talk about deontology. The theory was written by Immanuel Kant. First of all, he claims that crucially important to have a good will to do moral decisions. In order to have right motives, you should act by duty. Kant says, duty is the necessity of acting from respect for the moral law. It means you should overpower your inclinations and not serve your self-interest. Second theory is utilitarianism, I think the simplest one. According to utilitarianism, action is moral if it's produced the greatest good for the greatest number of people. So, the last one is virtue theory. It defines good actions as ones that displays embody virtuous character traits like courage, royalty, or wisdom. Instead than focusing on rules and laws, it emphasizes the character of the individual. It is about becoming a good person and leading a moral life. It is not about what should I do, but rather what kind of person should I be. Using the concept of golden mean, that is, look to what lies in the middle between two extreme forms of behavior. Moreover, virtue are often defined by social role, like teacher, mother, driver, and etc. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, now let's move on to the reason why we are all here to discuss 3 topics of philosophy. Philosophy of life, philosophy of friendship, and philosophy of a good man from this series' perspectives, and analyze the situations from the series. And the question is, how do you consider the philosophy of life?
We shouldn't choose the actions that would become impossible or meaningless if everyone performed them. And lying is against our duty, and we shouldn't lie in any situation.
No, utilitarianism would say that the action is permissible if the sum of the benefit is great or greater than the sum of harm. Sometimes lying or deception can be more beneficial than harmful.
Virtue ethics is flexible with lies and allow lying in to protect others. Overdoing honesty to the point of where it becomes harmful for honesty person as well as to others, it's not good course of action. So we must keep the golden mean and we can lie in some situations.
Thank you for your answers. Now let's take a situation from the series.
Henry? Whoa! New boots!
Oh, yeah, just got them. Saw them in the store and I was just like, no! And tell the truth, do you like them?
Oh yeah.
Not too red?
No.
Crystals aren't too much?
Crystals are not too much.
Oh, well, that makes me feel much better because I was really going back and forth over whether they were worth the money. They were super expensive.
Yeah. Well, they're amazing. I mean, those are the coolest boots I've ever seen in my life.
Thanks so much, buddy.
Right, bye.
So guys, how do you think? Should Chidi have lied or not? Is it moral?
Chidi has behaved terribly by lying to his friend. We should remember that lie is always wrong regardless of the situation. It corrupts the most important quality of human being, the ability to make free, rational choices. So Chidi has behaved immoral in this situation.
Of course, Chidi had to lie, so as to not to offend a friend and not seem bad. His friend was placed and Chidi remained a good person.
But from my point of view, Chidi lied for the good of his friend, and he didn't want to offend him. So empathy or compassion is one of the most virtuous characters of human beings. Therefore, it's correct to lie in such cases.
Hey, I am turned back. It's time to Lao Tzu wisdom. Before I make a deep jump to connection between philosophy of Lao Tzu and the good place, let me tell you about meaning of yin and yang. According to Asian philosophy, nature consists of the tight interaction of two elements known as yin, earth or passive element associating with negative and destructive, and yang, heaven, active element with is light and positive. And these two exist in perpetually harmonious balance according to Tao. Literally, Tao means way and path. The classic Confucian texts also have a very good text. Equilibrium is the greatest foundation of the world and harmony is universal path. So, but why I'm saying all this to you? Remember nature of two main love story characters, Eleanor and Chidi. They are like yin and yang that through connection make a great balance, isn't it? For example, Chidi is a weak in decision making, while Eleanor easily knows what to do or how to act, even if it is wrong. This balance helps them to deal with some questions. Or another example, Chidi who always tries to act morally and Eleanor who always acts against any morality. Despite this, they were able to help each other and no matter how many lies they were together on each.
Whoa, that was very useful information. Now, let's continue our show. The second question. What do you think about the philosophy of friendship?
According to Kant, friendship is a union of two persons through equal mutual love and respect when they treat each other as ends.
For the utilitarianism, the main thing is to make both of us and others happy, and it means even friendships that are based on what useful and pleasant the two people involved can do for one another is also friendship.
In true friendship, friends love each other for their own sake and they wish each other well. Such friendship is possible only between virtuous people because only good people are capable of loving another person for his own sake.
Thank you again for your answers. Now let's watch the scene from the series.
Oh, hello, Eleanor. Hi. Sorry, I was just cleaning up.
Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
Desperately. It's Jianyu. I just can't seem to connect with him. I know that he took a vow of silence, but he won't even talk to me, his soulmate. And I adore talking.
I know. You do.
Eleanor, you don't know what it's like to be in paradise and feel like there's something just not quite right.
You are an impressive, thoughtful, and special person. Not to mention, you have a rockin' bod. I mean, Jianyu may be mute, but he's not blind. You two belong here, and you belong together. And you have all of eternity, so there's plenty of time for things to change.
Oh, thank you. I really needed to hear that. Come here.
Now a question for you guys. Can we consider their friendship real?
From the perspective of the ontology, we can consider the friendship between them as real, because Eleanor wasn't a good friend. The goal of Eleanor was to prove everyone that the honey wasn't perfect at all. She was motivated to find her secrets by acting as a friend. In moral friendship, it's required for two persons to reveal their secret judgments and feelings to each other.
According to utilitarianism, Tahani and Eleanor is good friends. It doesn't matter whether they use each other or not. The main thing is that they both feel good.
As a social status of good friend, Eleanor couldn't cope because the quality of good friend is to take care and enjoy the fact that you are together. And Eleanor first, she doesn't like Tahani, and the second made friend for her own sake. So, so they are almost different persons, one good and one bad. So we cannot call it as a real friends.
Hi, I'm here. Time to speak about the king of philosophy, Plato. Plato has 4 big ideas, and one of them claims that you should allow your lover to change you. It's not about I love you who you are, but about learning to be a good person through who you love. True love is admiration, when your lover has strong and good qualities that you don't. The best example is the relationship between Eleanor and Chidi. Chidi teaches her to moral actions and how to be a good person. Actually, it worked. Finally, Eleanor started to act more morally, and also he would appear feeling of duty. For example, he comes back in order to rescue Chidi and Tahani. Oh, stop here. Also, Heraclius Quotes is ideal. It is what opposites that helps. Or another big idea that provides a model for an ideal society. Plato tries to reform society and create an ideal one by thinking about fulfillment, not a way of military strength. He thinks that people should be kind, white, and model of good people, in another word, guardians. This TV show has this model. If you forget the fact that all these people are not liars, they represent ideal society model. Every person kind and tries to act not in self-interest but for social welfare, so they have wide and deep experience. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, the last question for you. How do you consider the philosophy of a good man?
A good man is a person who treats others as ends and acts morally correct, following duties with good intentions.
A good person is who tries to act so as to maximize happiness and pleasure and minimize unhappiness or pain, and brings the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people.
From the side of virtue ethics, every person who is living in accordance and consciousness of to his social status is a real good person. For example, mother takes care of children and teacher teaches children. For Aristotle, a really good person is a person who live and acts virtuously and receive happiness from this virtue. Okay then, let's look at the moment from the series.
Here, but why Tahani?
Oh yeah, didn't you raise like $1,000 for charity or whatever?
60 billion, actually, so. Oh. But it didn't matter. Because my motivations were corrupt. I didn't care about helping the people I raised the money for. I just wanted to prove my parents wrong and stick it to my sister, get fame and attention. My only real goal was to snog Ryan Gosling at the Met Ball. Which I did. A couple of times, actually.
But wait.
So in this case, how do you think? Can we call Tahani a good person?
Charitable donations are great actions, but if they were made with good intentions. Tahani's problem is that she wanted to be better than her sister does in the eyes of her parents by making donations. But to be beneficent, the donation has to be held without hoping for something in return.
I think we can consider Tahani a good person, as she makes many people happy and she likes it herself. Her motivation is not important. It's important that she instead to do good deeds.
As a person who has a lot of money and who is living a prosperous life, briefly, as a rich person, Tahani did her duty. It doesn't matter why she did it. It's important that Tahani does not take pay from donation and complete his own duty, since Tahani is a really good person.
Thank you, Araylan, Elmira, and Aidana for your answers and for coming to our show. In conclusion, I want to say that all of the ethical theories that you follow are equally essential for us human beings. In some cases, we might make a decision according to deontology, but in some cases, we follow Aristotle's virtue theory and utilitarianism. Each of these theories helps us to understand ethics and become a moral person. So let's not argue and end our show on a good note. Also, thank you to our audience. With you was Asel. See you!